Athletic Conference matchup between the Lakers of Roosevelt University and your Fighting Saints. As always, prior to the introductions of tonight's starting lineups, we ask you to please rise as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
We're live inside the Sullivan Center here on the campus of the University of St. Francis, where the Fighting Saints today host the Lakers of Roosevelt University in a makeup from a postponed game last week. We'll get a chance to see the Lakers in action today after the snow wiped out last Wednesday's game. Terry Bonadonna with you on the call for today's game as the Saints take the floor in their home white uniforms. Roosevelt is in green. The Lakers going from left to right. The Saints from right to left to start today's game as the opening tip is upon us. And it's won by Roosevelt. Ayomide Ajiboye taps it back to Trenton Kyler as the Lakers take the first possession. Kyler passes out to Matt Myers. Swung around to the right side, Justice Mouton. Caleb Brown loses the handle inside, gets it back, keeps it in bounds, out to Justice Mouton. I think you've met all of the Lakers starters already on this first possession. Little leaner rattles home for Matt Myers, the senior from Addison, Illinois. Gets the scoring started in today's game on Roosevelt's first possession. Saints line up with Russell Tillery and Darius Wright in the backcourt. The forwards are Joey Bajemi, Rehana Maxwell-Topia, and Lewis Holy, as the Saints take their offensive possession for the first time today. Darius Wright working against Matt Myers, bounces down low to Holy. Holy in the post against Caleb Brown, swatted away by Brown, out of bounds. It stays with the Fighting Saints. Just 6 seconds on the shot clock. A very effective defensive possession so far for Roosevelt. Russell Tillery, the inbounder from the baseline. Looks right in front of himself, finds Darius Wright. Wright's got to get one off pretty quickly as baseline jumper rims out. And so Roosevelt comes up with the stop. Quickly on the other end, Justice Mouton lays it in. Strong start for Roosevelt. The Lakers come in on a 2-game losing streak, but a hot start as they try to snap that today. Joey Bajemi out to Russell Tillery. Roosevelt puts on a full court press, beating the Saints up a little bit, but they're able to calm things down now in the half-court game with 13 on the shot clock. It's Darius Wright at the top. Throwing it out to the left side. Tillery drives baseline, blocked from behind, and ripped out of the air by Ajiboye. Justice Mouton stood him up at the rim. Ajiboye came in to help from behind. Another stop for Roosevelt. Here's Trenton Kyler, the Lakers' leading scorer on the season. Passing back to Caleb Brown, who throws it away. Looking for Justice Mouton. The ball ends up kicking out of bounds. It's a turnover for Roosevelt with 18-17 on the clock. Their first turnover of the game, their first empty possession of the game. And the Saints will try to strike the scoreboard for the first time. It's Russell Tillery, met at half court this time by Kyler. Darius Wright off near the far sideline. Passes up top to Rehana Maxwell-Topia, who makes his second consecutive start. Pass deflected right back to Maxwell-Topia. Over to Darius Wright. Wright pulls up at the three-point line, fires the jumper and hits from the outside. Darius Wright has the Saints on the board. It's a 1-point game early on here. Wright stepped right into one, picked up his dribble, and knocked down his second field goal attempt of the game. Kyler on the drive, off balance, able to knock it in. Nice control by Trenton Kyler off the glass, as he was able to shift his balance from the right to the left. And as he faded away from the basket, he banked it in. His first points, 3 field goals from Roosevelt's 3 different players, have them ahead. Joey Bajemi trying to tie it up. He does. Joey Bajemi's been the most effective outside shooter this season for the Saints. 47th made three-pointer of the season for him. Now we're tied at 6 thanks to a pair of three-pointers for St. Francis. Bajemi called for a foul on the other end. He reached in, commits his first foul and the game's first foul. Just about 3 minutes in, Roosevelt sets up their possession once again with 20 on the shot clock. Brown passes over to Kyler. Trenton Kyler, step back, kick out to Mouton. Didn't get a clean grip on it, so he passes out. Here's Ayomide Ajiboye driving on Rehana Maxwell-Topia. Throws it up with a left hand. Back rim, no good. Rebound, Lewis Holy. Holy is fouled by Matt Myers. So Holy pulled up. Myers got a piece of him streaking past, and Myers is called for the first Roosevelt foul of the game. 16:45 on the clock. Kyler nearly takes it away, but his strip lands on the sideline, out of bounds. Stays with the Saints as the ball is sent in to Holy. Here's Darius Wright on the drive. Wright from the left side. Layup is good. 5 early points for Darius Wright. Nice drive that time for Wright. Saints by 2. It's their first lead of the game. They've scored the last 5 points. Trying to get him back. Myers loses the ball with Bajemi on the defense. Brown gets it back, and he's blocked by Lewis Holy. Darius Wright takes it to the other side. Wright backs in, kicks out to an open shooter. Bajemi, 2 for 2 from the outside. Joey Bajemi extends the St. Francis lead. They're on an 8-0 run. Bajemi's got 6 points, and Darius Wright has 5. Nice start for the Saints after they came up empty on their first couple of possessions. They've picked it up very quickly. Fadeaway jumper for Kyler is no good. Another rebound for Lewis Holy, who's got 2 already today. Had a career-high 19 in an overtime win at Trinity Christian on Saturday. Maxwell Topia bounces into Holy. Holy falls to the ground and calls timeout. So he narrowly avoids the travel as he grabbed possession of that ball while falling. And he's able to keep possession for St. Francis. 15:35 to play in the half. 17 on the shot clock. Possession remains with St. Francis. Lewis Holy actually, if I look at the stat sheet, has 3 rebounds already in today's game. He came in with 833 of them for his career, which puts him now just 3 away from tying the school's all-time record. And he's going to be asked probably to grab a few more down the stretch here with E.J. Charles out of the lineup. Charles is missing his 2nd consecutive game. He's on the bench in street clothes today. So the Saints have lost a lot of size without their starting forward. Holy usually plays a little bit bigger than he is, but he's only 6'5", which is obviously not short for a human being, but for the tallest guy on the team, it does make the Saints a little bit undersized. Rihanna Maxwell Topia, 6'5" as well. But E.J. Charles at 6'7" is typically the tallest man in the rotation, as Russell Tillery knocks down the jumper off the inbounds play. Gives St. Francis a 10-0 run as their lead extends to 13-6. There's a steal for Joey Bujemi. Bujemi takes it in on Justice Mouton and lays it in. Timeout called by Roosevelt. The Saints have scored 12 points in a row, and Joey Bujemi's got 8 of them. 15-6 is our score. St. Francis on top. Bujemi now 3 of 3 from the field. The Saints as a team are 6 for 9 to start things out here. And Roosevelt, after looking sharp on their first couple of possessions, has hit a wall. They're just 1 for their last 4 from the field with a couple of turnovers thrown in there as well. And they haven't scored now in about 2.5 minutes. So a quick 30-second timeout to talk things over and get some reinforcements in there. Lucas Jordan checks in off the bench, as does Quinn Riggins. And it looks like they made a couple of other substitutions as well. Mark Johnson is out there for Roosevelt. And that's Anthony Martinez as well. So 4 new players on for the Lakers. The only starter who remains in the game is Matt Myers. And Myers is in possession right now. He passes off to Quinn Riggins. Riggins flips it back to Martinez behind him. Martinez dribble drive, up and in from just inside the free throw line. Good drive by Martinez and a strong finish as he gets the roll from the back iron. That halts a 12-0 St. Francis run and gives Roosevelt their first points in nearly 3 minutes. Russell Tillery into the cutting Lewis Holy. Holy in traffic, too strong off the glass. Rebound Roosevelt. Mark Johnson pushes it ahead to Riggins. Quinn Riggins slows it up. Here's Myers on the left wing. Myers takes it inside. Nice fake around Holy. Leaner no good. Lewis Holy grabs the rebound. And now we've got a foul called against St. Francis. This goes on Lewis Holy. It's a technical foul on Lewis Holy. So it was after Holy had grabbed the rebound and pushed it ahead to Russell Tillery. The Saints were making their way down the floor to set up their possession, and Holy trailing the play did something. I'm not sure exactly what, but Holy is called for the technical foul. So that sends Lucas Jordan to the free throw line. A nice break for Roosevelt, though Jordan misses the first of 2 free throws. Lewis Holy is fired up right now. Not happy at all with the call, so Ryan Marks pulls him to the bench. Just give him a chance to cool down as Carter Fahey checks in. Holy did a lot of talking to the officials after that call was made. So he gets a breather here as Jordan makes the second free throw. So St. Francis had the ball at the time that whistle blew. Following the technical foul, Roosevelt gets 1 of 2 free throws, but the Saints do get to maintain possession. So it turns out to be a 1-point foul. 14:23 to play in the first half. St. Francis went on a 12-0 run to take a 9-point lead. Roosevelt has now scored the last 3. And the Saints will try to answer as we resume action. Russell Tillery walks it on the far side of the floor, guarded by Quinn Riggins. Throws it towards Rihanna Maxwell-Topia, but it's poked away by Mark Johnson. Johnson ahead for Jordan, and Jordan lays it in. Smooth finish for Jordan. A nice find by Mark Johnson after he came up with the steal. And a quick foul is called on Quinn Riggins defensively for Roosevelt as Russell Tillery tried to break the press. Just the second foul on Roosevelt. Lakers have now scored the last 5 points. Carlos Tavares, Louis McGlasson check in for the Fighting Saints. And Benmit Tekla is on the floor as well for St. Francis. Russell Tillery, the only starter who remains on the floor, drives on the right side, and he's bumped by Quinn Riggins. It's the second foul on Riggins. Riggins just checked in a couple of minutes ago, but 2 immediate fouls on him sends him right back to the bench, and Trenton Kyler returns to the floor. Russell Tillery into Carter Fahey. Fahey down in the corner. Called for a foul. Foul on Roosevelt. This one goes on Anthony Martinez. An arm bar on Martinez, his first and the team's 4th. 3 of them have come on this possession. Tillery into McGlasson. Layup comes up short, and Jordan grabs the rebound. Nice inbounds play. McGlasson just came up a little short on the layup. And now Louis McGlasson is called for a foul on Lucas Jordan. First foul on McGlasson, 3rd on the team. Nadav Gerner is in for Russell Tillery, so Ryan Marks goes with 5 subs on the floor now. Here's Kyler, dribbling to the right side, into the corner. Johnson along the baseline, opposite corner, back out to a wide open Kyler who knocks down the 3. Trenton Kyler, a 40% three-point shooter, left alone after some really nice ball movement. And Roosevelt has answered St. Francis's 12-0 run with 8 consecutive points of their own. Here's Gerner on the drive. Gerner pulls up in the lane, tries to get it down low to Carter Fahey, but it's intercepted by Myers. Tried to get it past 2 Lakers defenders, and Myers did not let it through. So the Lakers can reclaim the lead here. It's Jordan for 3. He got it. Roosevelt has taken the lead back, and they've now scored 11 consecutive points. A streaky first half for these 2 teams as the Saints' long run is answered by an almost equally long one for Roosevelt. Foul called on the Lakers. That is the 5th on Roosevelt. Number 1 on Trenton Kyler, the freshman. Ajiboye checks back in. Gerner lobs it in high for Fahey. Carter Fahey, quick jumper is good. Nice touch for Carter Fahey. He's got his first points of the game. We're tied at 17. So that snaps a drought of nearly 3 minutes for St. Francis after Roosevelt had just gone on a 3-minute drought right before that. It's been a weird first half. Kyler sets up at the top, working against Tobias. Drives, stripped, and fouled. The foul is called on Carlos Tobias, his first, 4th on the team. The number of fouls called has dramatically picked up in the last couple of minutes. At this rate, we may see a lot of free throws here in the first half. Both teams nearing the bonus already. 3-pointer from the corner. Jordan a little bit short this time. Rebound Ajiboye, back up, no. A fight for the rebound, and this time a foul is called on Ayomide Ajiboye. So he got the initial offensive rebound, missed the putback, and on an effort for another offensive board, he's called for going over the back. That's his first foul, number 6 on Roosevelt, so they've hit their limit already. Nadav Gerner gets a screen, going to the top of the key. Gerner puts it on the floor, works his way inside, and fouled again by Ajiboye. It's the second time this half that Roosevelt has had a player pick up 2 fouls in the span of 1 possession. Quinn Riggins has been on the bench with 2 fouls, and now it looks like Ajiboye is going to have to join him. So a lot of foul trouble for Roosevelt here in the first half as Nadav Gerner heads to the line for 2 shots. Just the 9th and 10th attempts of the season, or I guess just the 9th attempt. No, it was a shooting foul. Yeah, so 2 shots for Gerner. He's now 5 of 9 for the season from the free throw line. He'll get 1 more. That was the 7th team foul on Roosevelt, and that's why players started to crash the board, but it was definitely a shooting foul. So 2 shots, even though he missed the first. Second one coming up for the sophomore from Israel. And this misses as well. Jordan grabs the rebound. We remain tied at 17, just over 8 minutes into the action. Here's Trenton Kyler walking it slowly across half court. Moves to the left, picked up by Gerner. Here's Martinez on the wing. Down low, Myers posting up on Tobias. Turnaround, off the backboard and in. Nice move by Matt Myers. Myers has his 2nd bucket of the game, 4 points for him. And this is Ben Mettekla for St. Francis. The shot clock expires. I didn't look at it. I guess they forgot to reset it after the last possession. Obviously, it was not 30 seconds that had gone by on this possession. So 11:20 showing on the game clock. They will reset the shot clock. Should be, I would think, somewhere around 20-ish. Once they have it set once again, and St. Francis will be able to resume their possession from the far sideline. Fighting Saints have led by as many as 9 points here in the first half. They've trailed by as many as 4 and currently find themselves down by 2. The shot clock is reset exactly to 20 seconds. Lewis McGlasson looks to get it in. McGlasson having some trouble, has to call timeout. Second timeout called by St. Francis as they head over to the sideline. Oh, I'm sorry, they didn't get the timeout called. 5-second violation is the ruling. So it's a turnover. Looked like McGlasson signaled for a timeout, but apparently it was too late. So no timeout given. Roosevelt has possession, and a foul is called on the Saints. Touchy first half. The officials are calling this game very close right now. That is foul number 5 on St. Francis. It's the 2nd on Carlos Tobias. There are already 2 Lakers on the bench with 2 fouls. And now Tobias becomes the first Fighting Saint to pick up his 2nd. Kyler, fadeaway jumper, well short, rebounded by Fahey. That ball just barely grazed the rim. Fahey sets it up at the top, passes off to the right, Lewis McGlasson. McGlasson back to Nadav Gerner. Gerner drives with the left hand. Off balance pass into the corner. It finds Carlos Tobias. Tobias works his way to the rim, throws it up and misses. Rebounded by Roosevelt. Jordan picks up his dribble looking for help. Finally finds Johnson. Down low looking for Myers. Poked away by McGlasson, but Myers keeps it alive on the outside. Martinez, long 3. Rims out, rebounded by Lewis McGlasson. McGlasson sets the pace for the Saints on this possession. Over to Carlos Tobias. Tobias works his way inside the 3-point line and kicks it back out. This is Fahey. Fahey spins in the paint. 2 defenders in his way, lays it in anyway. Nice work by Carter Fahey. He's got 4 points. The Saints have tied it up once again. And Roosevelt wants to stop proceedings here. Timeout called. 19 all. We're just about halfway through this first half, and it has been an eventful first half of basketball so far. 38 points are on the board, dead even at 19-19. This is the 3rd time we've been tied today. We've seen a pair of lead changes. Each team has had double-digit scoring runs. The Saints at one point scored 12 straight. And then immediately following that, Roosevelt scored 11 points in a row. And we've been back and forth ever since. 19-19 our score. We've already seen 12 fouls called. The Lakers are over the foul limit. The Saints have 1 more to give, but mentioned before, there's a strong likelihood we're going to see a lot of free throws in this first half, the way the game is being played right now and the way the game is being called right now. A lot of touch fouls in this first half, so they're keeping it very tightly played. Lewis Holy went to the bench early on after picking up a technical foul. 2 Lakers players are already on the bench with foul trouble. Both Ajiboye and Riggins have 2 fouls. Carlos Tobias picked up his second for St. Francis a few moments ago. He has remained on the floor ever since, and coming out of the timeout, he will still remain on the floor. The senior from Texas. It's a very international lineup right now for St. Francis, and I'm not saying that because of the Texan, but because of Lewis McGlasson, who's from Scotland, and Nadav Gurner, who's out on the floor, hailing from Israel. Ben Mettekla, who's making his home debut today, hails from Stockholm, Sweden. Entering the rotation with E.J. Charles on the bench for the second straight game. Tekla played 13 minutes and scored 5 points in his season debut, but that was on the road. So getting his first action here at the Sullivan Center. Trenton Kyler passes out to Martinez. 3-pointer. Martinez a little bit off. Long rebound chased down by Tobias. Tobias ahead for Fahey. Behind the back pass to Gurner. Right back to Carter Fahey. Fahey bounces to a cutting Gurner. Into the corner. Tobias misses the 3. And Mark Johnson grabs the rebound. 19 all. Roosevelt has the ball with a chance to take the lead. Martinez at the top. Looks to his right. No pass there. Now he finally does give it up to Jordan. Johnson steps just inside the 3-point line, trying to spin around Tekla. Well defended. Kicked out to Myers. Shot clock at 7. Myers drives, and a whistle, and a foul called on St. Francis. So they are giving Myers 2 shots here. Foul on Lewis McGlasson was on the shot. It's his second foul, so he becomes the second Fighting Saint to pick up 2 fouls. Matt Myers has 2 free throws coming his way, and the first one is good. That puts Roosevelt back in front. Myers is a 66% foul shooter this year. One for one so far today, and his second attempt misses too long. The rebound goes to Tekla. Nadav Gurner passes to Lewis McGlasson on the wing. Up top, Tekla. Back to Gurner on the side. Pass inside. I think we've got a hold on the offense. And a St. Francis turnover. Offensive foul called on Carter Fahey. His first. And now each team has committed 7 fouls as Martinez checks in for Myers. First rest of the day for Matt Myers of Roosevelt. Carter Fahey arguing his case as he walks down to the other end of the floor, but you got to be very careful in this game. The officials are not letting anything go. Pretty much any contact has resulted in a foul so far tonight. It's Kyler hands it off to Jordan. Jordan penetrates. Jordan shuffled his feet. Took an extra step there at the end of the play. A traveling violation called against Lucas Jordan. Saints have the ball, down 1. Nadav Gurner is guarded by Justice Mouton, just back into the game. Gurner bounces to Fahey. Fahey wings it across to McGlasson. McGlasson fakes left, drives right, off the glass, no good on the runner. Rebound to Roosevelt. Here comes Trenton Kyler. Mark Johnson slows things down. 3-point attempt for Jordan is a little bit short. Tekla came in with the defense at the last second. May have altered the shot. Saints take it the other way. Here's Ben Tekla for 3. Got it. Tekla calling for the foul as well. Does not get that call, but he does get the 3 points. St. Francis leads by 2. They're a perfect 4 for 4 from the outside, I believe. No, they missed one just a moment ago. So 4 of 5. Martinez answers with a three-pointer for Roosevelt, and they're back in front by one. The Lakers 3 of 7 from beyond the arc. Both teams have shot it well. Combined 7 of 12 on three-pointers. Lewis McGlasson is double-teamed. He dribbles out of it, back towards midcourt. Now he works his way inside, loses the ball, and it trickles out of bounds. So Roosevelt leads by a point, 23-22 our score, 7:20 to play in the first half, and the Saints have turned it over. Ryan Marks goes back to a few of his starters. Joey Bajemi and Lewis Holy are on the floor. Carter Fahey and Lewis McGlasson head out. Mouton slowly works his way across half court. Gets across with 2 seconds to spare. Johnson bounces to the free throw line. This is Myers turning to face the hoop. Turnaround jumper over Bajemi. Rims out. Rebounded by Holy. Rebound number 5 for Lewis Holy. Nadav Gurner back to Tekla. Over to Holy. Holy hands it to Joey Bajemi. Bajemi at the foul line. Backs in on Myers. Bajemi, turnaround jumper is short. Fight for the rebound and knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Holy. Good battle for that one, but Holy ends up losing it out of bounds. 23-22, Roosevelt. Both teams going through a bit of a cold spell now these last few moments. It remains very close here as Gurner tries to come up with a steal. He does succeed in stripping it from Justice Mouton, but knocks it out of bounds. It stays with Roosevelt, 23 on the shot clock. The Lakers to inbound from the sideline. Quiet start for Trenton Kyler today. He inbounds it to Johnson. Just 2 points so far for Kyler. This is Johnson. Passing into the cutter. Caleb Brown. Layup, no. Brown working for the rebound, and he's called for the foul. Loose ball foul on Caleb Brown, and that means free throws for St. Francis on the other end. First foul of the game on the junior Brown. And a 1-and-1 for Lewis Holy. Holy has not yet scored today. He's grabbed a team-leading 5 rebounds, now just 1 away from the school's all-time rebounding record. Holy had a very impressive double-double in the overtime win on Saturday. 15 points, 19 rebounds. Foul shot is good to tie the score at 23. Holy has earned himself one more. Got them both. St. Francis back in front. These two teams have traded leads with regularity here in the first half. Russell Tillery back in the game, guarding Trenton Kyler, who bounces over to Mark Johnson. Back up top, it's Kyler. Kyler on the drive, layup from the left side, no good, and there's another rebound for Holy. That's the record tire right there. Holy off to Tillery. Tillery crosses over, working his way into a double team, and he loses the ball. Here comes Myers for Roosevelt. Matt Myers streaks all the way down the lane and up off the glass and in. Nice drive by Matt Myers. 2 more points for him. He's got 5 for the game. Roosevelt is back in front, 25-24. I think that's 7 points now for Matt Myers to lead his team. Joey Bajemi leads all scorers with 8. It's been a while, though, for him as he kicks it outside to Tillery. Tillery bounces into Holy, stripped by Kyler. Quick hands by Trenton Kyler as he takes it the other way. Johnson pulls up in the lane. Johnson, little jumper, misses. Holy grabs the rebound. There's number 840 in his career. St. Francis' new all-time leader. Darius Wright drives, tripped up and fouled. So Darius Wright is on his way to the free throw line with the Saints trailing by a point, 5:08 to play in the first half. Rehana Maxwell-Topia back in for Benmet Tekla. Lewis Holy grabbed the rebound on the last possession, became the school's all-time leader. He passes Dave Wilhelmy, who had 839. back in the 80s. Wright knocks down the first free throw. We're tied again. Holy has been very consistent in his 4 years here, averaging around 8 or 9 rebounds every year. Second one good for Wright. Holy averages 9.1 rebounds per game this year. Second leading rebounder in the team, E.J. Charles, is out. So again, that does leave a few more chances for everybody else. Not the way you'd like to get them. Jordan into Brown. Brown working against Holy, and Lewis Holy is called for the foul. So Caleb Brown is going to the free throw line. .451 to play in the first half. We've seen now 5 ties and 7 different lead changes. Caleb Brown has got a chance to give us one of each here, but he's made fewer than half of his free throw attempts this season. He hits the front end this time. .26 all, and Brown puts Roosevelt back on top. 27-26, evenly matched first half. It's our 6th tie, and now our 8th lead change of the game. Holy tries to get it to Russell Tillery, but the pass is intercepted. Justice Mouton on the other end, around the screen. Mouton at the free throw line, left-handed layup is good. Justice Mouton has 4 points. His team leads by 3. And the Saints have done most of their recent work from the free throw line. It's been 4 minutes since their last field goal. Maxwell Topia's pass deflected, taken away. Jordan secures the loose ball. So we'll go over 4 minutes between St. Francis baskets. Jordan, stutter stepping outside, ends up handing it to Matt Myers and letting Myers set up the offense. Off to the right, that's Riggins into Mouton. Mouton's layup is good. So Justice Mouton has hit back-to-back layups. Quinn Riggins picks up the assist. Riggins picked up 2 fouls in his first minute in the game and has sat almost this entire first half, but just back in. A little bit of a risk letting him play with 2 fouls here. It's worked out fine so far. 5-point lead for Roosevelt. This is now their biggest of the game. It had been 4. St. Francis has led by as many as 9, but that was immediately answered by an 11-0 Roosevelt run. Here's Maxwell Topia inside. Maxwell Topia, short jumper, no good. Fight for the rebound and a foul call. Foul on St. Francis. It's on the loose ball. So free throws for Roosevelt, at least 1 free throw. Brianna Maxwell Topia is called for his first. 9 fouls on each side so far. And Quinn Riggins gets the 1-and-1. Riggins, not a huge scorer for Roosevelt. Getting a chance to add a point or 2 here, but he misses the front end. And Lewis Holy grabs another rebound. Outlet pass out to Russell Tillery. Slowed down, back up top to Holy. Good job by Roosevelt's defense getting back quickly. Darius Wright lays it up and in. So the Saints able to beat that good defense as Holy gets the assist to Darius Wright. And Wright has 2 more points. Give him 7 for the game. 3-pointer for Brown in response. Caleb Brown hits from the outside. Roosevelt's lead is up to 6. Under 3 minutes to play in the first half. Lakers have built their biggest advantage so far. Tillery dribbles it off his foot and out of bounds. That's the 9th turnover committed by St. Francis, and that has become a big problem. Roosevelt has committed just 3 of them. Fahey is back in for Holy for the Saints. Trenton Kyler carries it across the timeline. Tillery defending. The ball is bounced off to Brown. Brown made the 3 before. This time he gets Fahey in the air, and Fahey is called for the foul. That foul is on the floor, but it is number 10 on St. Francis. So 2 foul shots coming up for Caleb Brown, who put on a nice fake to get Fahey up in the air. Fahey came down on top of him. Brown's first free throw is good. Caleb Brown scores about 8.5 points per game. 5.5 rebounds for Brown, who is the team's leader in that category in conference play. 1 of 2 free throws. It's a 7-point game. Here's Joey Bajemi. Hot start for Bajemi, quiet ever since. Tillery down to Maxwell Topia in the corner. The three-pointer misses short. He chases down his own rebound. Joey Bajemi thought about the long three instead. He starts the dribble. Carter Fahey on the elbow. Out to Russell Tillery with the shot clock under 10. His pass deflected out of bounds by Trenton Kyler with 7 to shoot. Not much going in this possession so far for St. Francis. Bajemi looks to inbound. He finds Russell Tillery across court. Tillery's got to work quickly. Gets inside, step back jumper for Tillery is short, misses the rim, and before the clock runs out, it's grabbed by Jordan. Layup on the other end is good. So Lucas Jordan grabbed that ball just before the shot clock buzzer sounded, which would have halted play. He was able to keep it alive and then streak to the other end of the floor with the layup. 37-28. And a foul called on Kyler. That'll send Joey Bajemi to the line, and that's a big break for St. Francis because their offense has been out of sorts. Just 1 field goal in the last 6.5 minutes. Free throws have been their saving grace during that period, but they hadn't picked one up in the last couple of minutes, and Joey Bajemi just dribbling around the perimeter is grabbed by Trenton Kyler, and that's a costly foul on Kyler. It's number 3 on him, and it gives a very good free throw shooter a chance for 2 easy points here. He makes the first. 9 in the game for Bajemi. So Bajemi's got 9, and Darius Wright has 9 points as well. 2 of them lead the way for the Fighting Saints. St. Francis now 6 of 8 as a team shooting from the line today. And again, that's kept them alive as they have made just 1 field goal in nearly 7 minutes now. Quinn Riggins playing with 2 fouls, sets things up. 3 players for Roosevelt have at least 2 fouls. Trenton Kyler just picked up his 3rd. It's not even halftime. Caleb Brown, turnaround on Carter Fahey. It's an air ball. Rebound grabbed by Russell Tillery. Tillery shovels it back out to Bajemi. Bajemi works his way inside the 3-point line. Now a pull-up 2-pointer for him is good. 12 points for Joey Bajemi. He's got the last 4 for St. Francis. They're within 5. Can Jordan make it 8 from the corner? Yes, he can. Lucas Jordan, a 3-pointer. And with 46.1 seconds, a whistle. I think we've got a technical foul on Lucas Jordan. So we've seen 2 technical fouls given now, 1 on each side. That is in addition to the 20 personal fouls that have been called in this first half. Bajemi back to the line. This time he misses the first one. So Joey Bajemi's 2 of 3 on free throws. Second foul shot is good. Jurgen Ramos is in for Roosevelt as Lucas Jordan goes to the bench for the final 46 here. 40-33 our score. Both sides have led by as many as 9 points in this first half. A back and forth period of basketball. Saints would like to cut into this deficit before halftime. They'll have a chance right here. Carter Fahey with his back to the basket. Guarded by Caleb Brown. Kicked out to Tillery. Russell Tillery back over to Fahey. Open jumper misses. And the rebound goes to Brown with the shot clock off. Here's Matt Myers down the far sideline. Myers slows it down. Looks like Roosevelt will play for the final possession of the half. Quinn Riggins stands back at the half-court line. Passes back to Matt Myers on the left. Clock goes down under 10. Myers works his way to the baseline. Myers passes across court looking for Ramos. Ramos, with just 3 seconds on the clock, has to get one up at the buzzer. Can't get it to go. Ramos nearly lost the ball, got it back, evaded a defender, but was not able to connect on the jumper as time expired. So this is our halftime score. Roosevelt 40, St. Francis 33. A back and forth first half. We saw the lead go back and forth. We saw both teams go on long runs. We saw a lot of physicality, a lot of fouls called. But as we go to the break, Roosevelt has the lead by 7. Their biggest of the game has been 9. So the Saints have a little work to do in the second half. We'll see if they're up to the task in about 15 minutes. I'll step aside, back at the end of the half with some first half stats and the rest of our game action. 40-33, Roosevelt by 7 at halftime here on the USF Sports Network. It's halftime at St. Francis, and we're just about ready to start the second half. The Fighting Saints taking on the Lakers of Roosevelt University. Terry Bonadonna with you once again for 20 more minutes of basketball. And if it's anything like the first half, we've got a lot in store for us still to come today, because the first half was full of action. We saw 8 lead changes, 6 ties in the first half. Both teams led by as many as 9 points at different stages. Roosevelt up by 7 at the end of the half. We saw 21 total fouls called in the first half, including a technical on each side and a lot of foul trouble. The Saints have 4 different players with 2 fouls right now. The Lakers have 2 players with 2 and 1 with 3. So we'll see how much of an impact that has on the game going forward, but it certainly has been a big one so far. As for individual efforts, Joey Bajemi leads all scorers with 13 points. Darius Wright has 9. Lucas Jordan off the bench for Roosevelt has paced them with 11 on 4 of 6 shooting. Lewis Holy is the Saints leader with 8 rebounds, becoming the school's all-time career leader in the process of picking up those 8. Overall, St. Francis has out-rebounded Roosevelt 19-15. However, they've turned the ball over 9 times. The Lakers just 3 times, and that's led to a 10-5 advantage in scoring off of turnovers. So as we start the second half, Joey Bajemi, Russell Tillery, Rihanna Maxwell-Topia, Lewis Holy, and Darius Wright are on the floor for the Saints. They're starting 5. Roosevelt does not go with the full starting 5. Trenton Kyler is on the bench with 3 fouls, so Quinn Riggins is in for him. Saints turn it over for the 10th time of the game. Lewis Holy's pass is errant. On the other end, this is Quinn Riggins. Riggins is the one who's in for Kyler right now, and Riggins is playing with 2 fouls. Matt Myers is fouled as he scores to start the second half. Myers had a big game in a tough loss on Saturday against Trinity International, and he's having a good one today. That's now 9 points for Myers. And there's number 10 as Roosevelt takes the game's first double-digit lead, 43-33. Russell Tillery is called for his first foul of the game, and it turns into a 3-point play. Tillery has the possession for St. Francis as he passes off to Darius Wright. Wright bounces to Joey Bajemi on the outside. Bajemi fires a 3 and hits. Huge 3-pointer for Joey Bajemi in St. Francis. He's got 16 now. The Saints desperately needed those points. Back within 7. We're right back where we were at the half. Here's Justice Mouton. Bounced over to Caleb Brown. Brown turns to face the hoop. Passed back outside. This is Myers. Matt Myers pull-up jumper from about 14 feet out. That's good for Myers, who already has 5 points this half. He's into double figures overall with 12. And his team leads by 9. Mark Johnson is in for Quinn Riggins. The ball's ripped away by Johnson. Down low, a foul called as Rihanna Maxwell-Topia prevents Justice Mouton from scoring, picks up his second foul in the process. Mouton goes to the line for 2. The 11th turnover of the game for St. Francis. Roosevelt's been putting on this full court press for most of the game as Mouton makes the first foul shot. And that's what caused the turnover on that last possession, but by and large that has not been the reason for the high number of turnovers for St. Francis today as Mouton makes them both 47-36. The lead is up to 11. Here's Maxwell-Topia getting it across half court to Bajemi. Now Bajemi wants to run on Myers, and Myers is called for the foul. So the officials established in the first half they were going to call this one very tightly. I thought maybe coming out of the break, maybe they'd let them play a little bit more now that the tone has been established, but we've seen a lot of fouls already. Not all of them have been touch fouls. That last one was not a ton of contact. That one a little bit more evident, I think, from Ayomide Ajiboye, or at least Darius Wright sold it well if the contact wasn't great, but Ajiboye is called for his 3rd foul. So Ajiboye's got 3 fouls. Trenton Kyler's got 3 fouls. Just about everybody else has 2 for both teams. Maxwell-Topia, nice fake to his right. He spins to his left. and scores. I guess to his right is where he ended up going after he turned to face the basket. Nice move by Maxwell Topia. The sophomore has his first points of the game. Brown over to Johnson. Johnson steps inside the three-point line and throws it away. Pass deflected by Lewis Holy. Joey Bajemi scoops up the loose ball. Bajemi gets the screen from Holy, dishes it off to Tillery. Back to Joey Bajemi. Fakes the three, into the corner, Darius Wright. Wright penetrates, kicks, corner three. Maxwell Topia a little bit short, and the rebound is tipped into the hands of Matt Myers. Myers runs for Roosevelt, picked up by Bajemi, gives it up to Caleb Brown. Brown works his way in on Holy. Kicks it out to Ajiboye, stops at the free throw line, and passes out behind the three-point line. Johnson's runner is halted short. Mark Johnson ends up missing the layup. And on the other end, it's Joey Bajemi hitting the second three of the half. 19 points for Bajemi. The Saints are within 6. They've scored the last 5. Jumper from the free throw line misses for Mouton. Roosevelt has gone cold. Can the Saints take advantage on this end of the floor? They did on the last possession. Russell Tillery pull up from 2-point range. Rims around, no good. Rebound tipped out to Darius Wright. And the Saints reset. Maxwell Topia puts it on the floor. Joey Bajemi at the top of the key, 10 on the shot clock. Matt Myers on the defense. Bajemi drives into traffic, loses the ball into the corner. Darius Wright picks it up. His three-pointer is good. Out of a broken play, Darius Wright finds gold at the end of it, 47-44. The Saints are within 3 as they've scored 8 straight points. 16:46 to play in the second half, and Roosevelt calls a full timeout. Saints went on a 12-0 run after a slow start to this game, and they ended up taking a 15-6 lead before Roosevelt came right back with 11 straight points. Then the lead changed hands 7 times from that point on. But Roosevelt has had that lead for a while now. They took over for the rest of the half around the 6-minute mark of the first half, and they extended that lead all the way to 11 early here in the second. But the Saints have fought back thanks to the three-point shots. 7 of 10 are the Saints from the outside today. Joey Bajemi is 4 for 4. And Darius Wright just hit his second of the game. Darius Wright is into double figures with 12 points. He and Bajemi have combined for 31 of the team's 44. So it has not been a real hot offensive game for most of the team. Those two guys have gone a combined 10 of 12 from the field. Everybody else just 5 of 19. So Bajemi and Wright are keeping the team alive on the offensive end. Nobody else has more than 4 points today. But the Saints are right back in it with 16:46 to play. And so Roosevelt goes to the bench. They bring Trenton Kyler back in. The crowd gives a hand to Lewis Holy for his achievement earlier today when he became the Saints' all-time rebounding leader. He's added a few more since then. He's got 10 boards in the game. Matt Myers back to Trenton Kyler. Anthony Martinez is in as well for Roosevelt. Here's Mark Johnson. Johnson at the top, picked up by Tillery. Gives it up to Myers. Matt Myers. Nice move to get around Bajemi. Shot rims out. Rebound. Maxwell Topia. His pass deflected out of bounds. Still with the Saints with 2 seconds used up off the possession so far. They could tie the score with a 3 here. That's been their bread and butter all day, the 3-point shot. They've hit only 7 of them, but they've only attempted 10. Joey Bajemi tries to make it the 8th made three-pointer of the game, but for the first time he misses from the outside. He had been 4 of 4. Trenton Kyler looking for a quick answer. Passes out to Martinez. Ajiboye. Ajiboye drives on Maxwell Topia. To a cutting Martinez. Anthony Martinez a little too strong off the glass. No good from underneath. Here's Darius Wright for the Fighting Saints on the right wing. Up top, Lewis Holy. 3-point attempt. No good from Holy. Well, he doesn't take a lot of three-pointers, usually makes them at a very high percentage, just under 50% for the season. That time he was badly off. So we're in a bit of a holding pattern here. Neither team has scored the last few times they've touched it. Johnson behind the back pass to Anthony Martinez, and Martinez rattles home the three. 8 points for Anthony Martinez, the senior reserve. He puts Roosevelt back up by 6. That snaps the 8-0 St. Francis spurt. There's Russell Tillery, right elbow. Hand off to Joey Bujemi outside. Lewis Holy holds at the top. Gives it up to Tillery. Shot clock under 10 as Tillery drives. Layup is good. Bounced off of every piece of the rim and ended up falling. And the Saints are back within 4. 4 points for the senior Russell Tillery. Carter Fahey is in for Lewis Holy. Fahey played well in 10 minutes in the first half. 4 points, couple of rebounds for him. Here's Johnson on the left wing. Johnson puts it on the floor. Underhands it out to Anthony Martinez. Martinez gets around Fahey and easily to the rim to lay it in. As soon as he got around Fahey, it was pretty much a clear path for the basket. And Anthony Martinez has 10 points in the game. Here's Darius Wright. Wright gets the screen from Fahey at the top. He drives and his pass is bounced off the foot of a Laker and out of bounds. It stays with the Saints, 15 to shoot. Russell Tillery inbounds. Finds Carter Fahey right underneath the hoop. Fahey in some trouble, has it stripped, and Mark Johnson picks up the loose ball. It's another St. Francis turnover, and then Myers makes him pay for it on the other end with the layup. Matt Myers up to 14 points. 7 of them since halftime. Roosevelt's lead is back up to 8. Fahey double team, now triple team down low, fights it up and draws the foul. So Fahey fearless inside with 3 defenders surrounding him. He ends up drawing the 3rd foul of the game from Matt Myers. Fahey makes the first of 2 free throws. So Myers has 3 fouls. Trenton Kyler has 3 fouls. Ajiboye's got 3 fouls as well. Fahey's got 6 points. Carlos Tobias, Nadav Gerner check into the game for St. Francis. So a new backcourt for the Fighting Saints. Here's Trenton Kyler bouncing it over to Mark Johnson. Johnson works his way inside, slides his feet, keeps that pivot foot though, and now loses the ball. I think Gerner poked it away. Bujemi picked it up from his knees, and Bujemi throws it away. Ayomide Ajiboye is fouled as he picks up the loose ball. Following the turnover for St. Francis, a foul on St. Francis. It goes against Gerner, and it is the first on Nadav Gerner. Just the 3rd on St. Francis this half. So the foul calls have slowed down a little bit as Lucas Jordan passes it inside to Ajiboye. Ajiboye working against Fahey. Turnaround, no good. Rebounded by Maxwell Topia. Rayana Maxwell Topia passes off to Carter Fahey. Saints trail by 6. Here's Gerner. Gerner gives it up to Maxwell Topia, who just barely keeps his feet in bounds. Tobias to the corner. Fahey fakes the shot, drives. Carter Fahey is called for the offensive foul. Charge called on Fahey, trying to get himself to the basket. It's number 3 on Fahey. Louis McGlasson checks in for Joey Bajemi. Ben Tekla is in for Rehana Maxwell-Topia. It's Brown, Jordan, Kyler, Ajiboye, and Johnson out there right now for Roosevelt, clutching a 6-point lead. They've been up by as many as 11. Saints led by 9 in the first half, but they've trailed the whole second half, not coming any closer than 3 points. Caleb Brown outside to Mark Johnson. Back into Brown. Brown backs in on Fahey. Brown puts it up and no good. Off the back iron, grabs his own rebound. Second chance is in. The lead is 8 for the Lakers. It was 7 at halftime. McGlasson to Gerner. Gerner is fouled by Ayomide Ajiboye. That's number 4 on Ajiboye. So he heads to the bench with 12:07 to play. He'll likely be out for a while. Tekla passes over to Gerner. Now down low, Louis McGlasson. McGlasson throws it too high for Carlos Tobias and out of bounds. Tough game so far for Louis McGlasson, who has not yet scored for the Fighting Saints. He turns it over here. And for St. Francis, that is turnover number 15 of the game. Roosevelt has just 5 of them. Brown fakes the shot. Hands it off to Lucas Jordan. Jordan didn't get a lot on that pass, but was able to find Matt Myers on the right wing. Down low to Brown. Brown loses it, but Kyler is there to pick it up. 6 on the shot clock. Trenton Kyler working away from the basket. Now he starts to drive, bounces down low to Myers at the buzzer. Myers gets it up, gets the rim, and keeps the possession alive. Missed the shot, but Roosevelt gets the shot clock to reset to 20. Brown working against Fahey, and a foul called on Fahey, number 4 on him. So each team now has one player with 4 fouls. And still over 11 minutes to play in the game as Ryan Marks calls for a timeout. 56-48, Roosevelt is on top. The Lakers are protecting the basketball a lot better than the Saints right now, and that's been the difference as both teams have shot it well. Roosevelt at 48% from the field overall today. The Saints at 47%. And St. Francis is 5 for 9 so far since halftime, but they're not getting enough shots up. We've also seen Roosevelt get a few more opportunities lately on some offensive rebounds. Neither team had a second chance point in the first half. Both sides have scored once off of offensive rebounds here in the second. And coming out of this timeout, Roosevelt will keep this possession going after initially it was halted. But the Lakers have done a good job inside, closing the rebound gap a little bit over the last few minutes. 56-48 is our score. Matt Myers leads everybody with 14 points. Myers had 20 in a 1-point loss on Saturday. Roosevelt came into play today having lost 2 consecutive games. They are 10-7 in conference play, 15-9 overall. They have been locked up in some tight ones of late. And in fact, in their last 3 games, 2 of them have been decided by 1 point. 1 win and 1 loss during that stretch. Inbounds pass deflected, but it finds its way into the hands of Caleb Brown. Brown backs in on Holy, and Lewis Holy is called for the foul. That's number 3 on him. So Holy just checked in for Carter Fahey because Fahey picked up his 4th foul just prior to the timeout. And now Holy has 3. And Caleb Brown's got 2 free throws coming up as St. Francis has now hit their foul limit for the game. Brown, not a great free throw shooter, misses on the first one here. I mentioned before that coming into today he was hitting less than half of them for the season. He made 3 of 4 in the first half. and is now 1 of 2 in the second half. 9 points in the game for Caleb Brown. Here's Nadav Gerner controlling the basketball for the Saints. Gerner gives it to McGlasson. Back up top to Nadav Gerner. Left side, Tekla for 3. No good. Front rim. And that Tekla hit on a three-pointer in the first half. Not this time. Trenton Kyler picked up by Carlos Tobias. Saints trail by 9. Roosevelt trying to add to their lead again. Johnson down low. Blocked by Tekla. No call this time as the ball is loose. And somehow Johnson keeps it alive for the Lakers. And they got to reset the shot clock here. They reset it to 20. I don't know if they're claiming that St. Francis had possession. I didn't think that they did. But I think they are claiming that St. Francis had possession, and so Roosevelt got a full 30, does not reset to 20. St. Francis has gone over 4 minutes since their last points. They had cut an 11-point lead down to 3. Back up to 9 now, and Roosevelt can extend it even further with the ball in their hands right now. Mark Johnson bounces it into Myers. Myers loses his footing. He loses the ball, and Nadav Gerner takes it away. Gerner outside to Carlos Tobias. Tobias gets the screen from Holy, working around to the right side. Up top, Nadav Gerner. Gerner puts it on the floor, kicks it out to Holy. Holy backs his way in on Caleb Brown. Lewis Holy fires outside. Lewis McGlasson steps to his left, fires the 3, and hits. With Lucas Jordan defending, Lewis McGlasson is able to create just enough space to force one up, and a much-needed bucket for the Fighting Saints. Their first in over 5 minutes. Lewis McGlasson's first points of the game. Now Trenton Kyler is stripped and stolen by Carlos Tobias. McGlasson over to Tobias, and Tobias is fouled by Kyler running past. There's number 4 on Trenton Kyler. Four fouls on Kyler, 4 fouls on Ajaboye. Carter Fahey has committed 4 for the Saints. Quinn Riggins is back on the floor. Remember, Riggins picked up 2 fouls in less than a minute back in the first half. Now he's the guy who is a safe bet as far as fouls are concerned. He's still got just the 2. So he checks in for Kyler as the Saints look to cut further into this deficit. 9 points a minute ago. Now 6 on the shot clock. Gerner fights it up, no good on the tip. Lewis Holy is called for a foul. And that's 4 on Lewis Holy. That sends Roosevelt to the free throw line. They'll get a 1-and-1 here now in the single bonus. And Mark Johnson will get to take the shots. Johnson just 42% from the line this year. And he misses the front end. Lewis Holy grabs the rebound. Holy remains in the game with 4 fouls. His backup Carter Fahey also has 4. Here's Lewis McGlasson on the left wing. McGlasson up top to Nadav Gerner. Gerner drives. Gerner all the way to the rim. No good. Came up a little bit short. Not enough off the glass. Still a 6-point game. Here's Matt Myers for the team in green. The Lakers in possession with the 6-point lead. They've held that lead now for nearly 20 minutes of game time after we had 8 lead changes in the first half. Shot clock under 10. Myers works his way down low. Myers against Gerner. Up off the backboard, no good. Rebounded by Tobias. Here's Lewis Holy at the top. Bounces once, hands it to Tobias. Carlos Tobias is tripped by Mark Johnson. And a foul called on Johnson. And amazingly, that is Mark Johnson's first. I didn't think there was anybody left we could say that about. Fouls have been a huge storyline in this game. Both teams have already had 2 players pick up 4. One of those players leaves for St. Francis and another checks back in. Fahey on for Holy. Typically one or the other of them will be on the floor at all times, but there's a very real possibility Ryan Marks will have to find another option today as he's trading the 2 of them in and out. Foul called on Roosevelt here before the inbounds play. So back-to-back fouls called. And that was the 7th on the team. So Carlos Tobias goes to the free throw line. That was the first foul on Justice Mouton. So Mouton and Johnson are starting to make up for lost time as Carlos Tobias hits the first free throw. Tobias, an excellent foul shooter, has made it a 5-point game. He's missed only 1 free throw this year in now 20 attempts. He's a 95% shooter, 19 of 20. His first points of the night. It's 57-53 Roosevelt. Saints have tightened it up once again. They've scored the last 5 points. Here's Riggins. Riggins pulls up for 3. Off to the right, and the rebound tracked down in the corner by Benmet Tekla. Saints can make it a 1-possession game now. Fahey in possession, hands it to McGlasson. Lewis McGlasson backs up. Directing the rest of the offense with half the shot clock used up. He hands it to Carlos Tobias. Tobias circles around to the right side, back across to Fahey. Fahey tries the 3, too strong. Offensive rebound, Gerner, second chance. Yes, Nadav Gerner. It's a 2-point game, 57-55, 7:18 to play. And a timeout is called from the Roosevelt bench. Their acting head coach, Roy Ramos, calls the team over. 2-point game here as we start to get late here in Joliet. Saints have fought to stay in it. Turnovers haunted them for a long time, but they haven't committed one of those in over 5 minutes now. And they have continued to shoot the ball pretty effectively, and that has allowed them to cut a 9-point lead down to 2. It was as big as 11 very early in the second half. Saints went on a run to get within 3, but Roosevelt got hot again, keeping them at arm's distance, but now the Saints have fought almost all the way back. Again, in the first half, we saw 6 ties, 8 lead changes. The second half has been all Roosevelt. They have held the lead for nearly 20 minutes of game time. That lead now in jeopardy as they have gone cold from the field. They've missed 6 of their last 7 shots, and it has been almost 4 minutes since their last point. Saints have scored the last 7 in this game. For as tight as this game was early and for as evenly matched as these two teams have played for most of the game, you really didn't feel like Roosevelt was going to pull away even after they did take that 11-point lead. And indeed they haven't. St. Francis has been able to fight back time and time again tonight, and they've done it again here, but they have not been able to come all the way back and tie or reclaim that lead. We'll see if they're able to do so with a stop on this possession and then a bucket on their end. They've got to get that stop first. And it's Justice Mouton working against the full court press. Nadav Gerner shadows him all the way down the floor. With just 1 second to go, he's able to get it across half court. Mouton loses the ball. Gerner pokes it away, and Nadav Gerner is fouled. So he gets the steal and draws the foul. Nadav Gerner playing extremely well over the last few minutes. He's the one who got the bucket just prior to the timeout. And now he gets himself to the free throw line, looking for 4 straight points. Gerner has struggled from the free throw line. Not a lot of attempts for the season. He's 0 of 2 today. He makes the front end this time. So he's 6 of 12 from the line this year. He pulls the Saints to within 1. It's as close as it's been since it was 27-26 back in the first half. Ajiboye is back in, as is Kyler, both of them with 4 fouls. But Roy Ramos goes to them relatively early as Gerner makes them both. So we're tied. First tie since the first half. It's our 9th of the game, or 7th rather, 7th tie of the game. This is Trenton Kyler passing off to Anthony Martinez. Hand off to Matt Myers. Myers gets inside the three-point line, back to Martinez, three-pointer, rims around, high hop, and it does not go. The Saints can take the lead. They're on a 9-0 run to come back to tie the score. Down low, Carter Fahey. Fahey backing in on Martinez. Fahey picks up the dribble, fights his way up over Martinez, and puts it in. It's an 11-0 St. Francis run. They're back in front for the first time this half. Roosevelt lost the ball. It was knocked out of bounds. Who touched it last? Apparently the Saints did. They didn't think so. The officials certainly weren't sure. They talked it over. That was the best they could come up with. An 11-0 run for St. Francis here. Martinez tries to end that run by passing outside. Here is Kyler for 3, in and out. They are ice cold right now. One of their last 9 from the field. Almost 5 minutes without a point. Here's Fahey. Fahey drives, lays it up, and misses, but he's fouled. Anthony Martinez called for his second foul, 9th on the Lakers. 2 free throws here for Carter Fahey. Fahey's had a good game already, 8 points. I'm trying to add a few more here. But he misses the first one. One more chance coming up for Fahey. Saints have made this run with their reserves on the floor. Joey Bajemi is at the scorer's table, though, to check in after this free throw attempt. And Fahey makes the second one. So Fahey goes 1 of 2. This matches their longest run of the game now at 12 consecutive points. Back in the first half, they turned a 3-point deficit into a 9-point lead. Ajiboye just gets it in. Almost went 5 seconds, then he almost crossed over the line before throwing it in as well, but he avoids both infractions, and the Lakers are able to take possession. Again, the Saints were down by 3. They turned it into a 9-point lead in the first half. On a 12-0 run here, they've turned a 9-point deficit into a 3-point lead, but Matt Myers is going to get a chance to end the run as he's fouled by Nadav Gerner, and he's got 2 free throws coming his way. Second foul on Gerner. Matt Myers is 2 of 3 at the line today. He leads the team with 14 points, and he's stuck at 14 for the moment. 5 minutes and 35 seconds since Roosevelt's last point. And there it is finally. It proved elusive as Myers missed on the first free throw, but he pulls his team to within 2 by making the second. 5.5 minutes to play in the game. 2-point lead, St. Francis. Fahey out to Carlos Tavares. Tavares for 3. Got it. Tavares for 3. His first field goal of the game. He's got 5 points. That's the Saints' lead. Martinez, quick response. That's good. So they trade 3-pointers after a long scoreless drought. Roosevelt's able to score on back-to-back possessions. Now just a 2-point game again. Fahey backing in, turnaround, up with the right hand and in. Carter Fahey's had some nice touch tonight. Fahey into double figures with 11 points. He has gone 4 of 6 shooting today. Myers takes it in on Gerner, no good. Myers fights and gets his own rebound. Second chance, missed that one as well. And the rebound to Fahey. Saints have taken control, still a close game. But they've got the ball, they've got the lead, they've got the momentum. with 4.5 minutes to play. Ben Tekla picked up by Mark Johnson. Cross court, Nadav Gerner. Gerner bounces it into Tekla. Tekla finds Fahey. Fahey penetrates. Fahey floater, no good. Gerner offensive rebound. A three-point attempt for Tekla is no good at the buzzer. And Tekla's called for the over-the-back foul. So Carter Fahey missed the rim on his field goal attempt. They got a second chance with the shot clock running down. Tekla missed at the buzzer. And the rebound went to Roosevelt, who will get free throws out of it. Follows the first on Tekla. It's the 9th on the team, so 1-1 for Myers. Riggins and Mouton back in for the Lakers. Ryan Marks is sticking with his subs. They've played the majority of this second half and for the most part have played well. We've not seen Russell Tillery or Rihanna Maxwell-Topia in a while. It's the first of the 2 free throw attempts is good. He'll get a second free throw just because he made the first. Darius Wright has been on the bench for a while for the Saints as well, but he comes back into the game. And looks like Tekla's coming out. Second foul shot for Matt Myers is no good. So he goes 1 of 2 again. It is a 1-possession game now. Saints trying to break the full court press. Tobias' pass doesn't make it to Bajemi. It's taken away by Adjeboye. And Adjeboye's dunk makes it a 1-point game. A steal and the 2 points for Adjeboye, 65-64. Those were his first 2 points of the game. Finished with a double-double against Trinity International on Saturday. Today he's been mired in foul trouble. A near steal for Mark Johnson, but he hits the sideline in his diving attempt to keep it alive. Roosevelt playing with a lot of heart right now and trying to come back after they gave up a double-digit lead. They're still fighting all the way through. Lewis Holy is in for Carter Fahey for the Fighting Saints. Fahey was able to play the last 4 minutes without picking up his 5th foul, and now Holy is back in. He's playing with 4 fouls. Nadav Gerner walks it to the right side. Gerner looking down low, lobs it low for Holy, but Lewis Holy is called for his 5th foul. An offensive foul on Lewis Holy, grappling for position down low. He is done for the day. Lewis Holy is out. He finishes with 2 points and 11 rebounds today. And the Saints will have to make do without him the rest of the way. He had just checked in a few seconds ago for Carter Fahey, and Fahey's going to come right back in. So now the Lakers can reclaim the lead on this possession. They've had that lead most of the game. Lost it just a couple of minutes ago. The Saints built up an advantage of as many as 5 points. But Roosevelt's got its fate in its own hands on this possession as it looks to jump back in front. Trenton Kyler dribbles around Carlos Tobias. Picked up by Bajemi. Thrown off to Adjeboye. Out to Anthony Martinez. Martinez down low. Adjeboye layup. Yes, and a foul. Foul called on Darius Wright. And Ayomide Adjeboye's got a chance at a 3-point play. Adjeboye has been playing some excellent basketball of late for Roosevelt. He had been very quiet today. Really struggled to get rolling. But now he has scored the last 4 points for the Lakers. He had a steal in there as well. And now a chance for 5 points in a row for Adjeboye, who did not have any in the first 36 minutes of this game. And he does not have any on this free throw attempt. So just a 2-point play for Adjeboye. That keeps it a 1-point difference. Russell Tillery, Rihanna Maxwell-Topia back on the floor for the Saints. They're playing with their starters, minus Lewis Holy, who has fouled out. Darius Wright for the lead. A little bit short on the 3. Rebounded by Justice Mouton. Coming down to the wire today at the Sullivan Center. 1-point game. Just over 2.5 minutes to play. Roosevelt's got the ball. Ayomide Ajiboye looks down low, looks to his right. Now starts the dribble. Hand off to Matt Myers. Myers spaces everybody out. 10 seconds on the shot clock for Myers. Steps in on Bajemi. Jumper is good. 18 for Myers. The lead is back to 3 for Roosevelt. It's been as many as 11. After going down by 5, they're on a 10-2 run. Joey Bajemi on the outside. Bajemi works his way in. Picks up the dribble, fires the two-pointer, rims out. Rebounded by Johnson. Tough shot for Joey Bajemi. Here comes Justice Mouton. Mouton soars to the basket, misses too hard on the layup. Rebound Ajiboye, and he's fouled. Second foul on Darius Wright. 2 free throws for Ajiboye. He missed one last time, and he misses one this time. It'll remain a one-possession game if he misses his third in a row. 57% free throw shooter this season. Ayomide Ajiboye, senior transfer, misses them both. And the Saints are still within 3. Big possession now for St. Francis as they've gone cold. They're looking for their first points in over 3 minutes. Bajemi down low to Fahey. Carter Fahey backs in. Fahey double teamed. His pass is deflected right back into his hands. Now he picks up his dribble, finds Russell Tillery. 5 to shoot. Maxwell Topia leans in, gets fouled, and he will go to the free throw line. Justice Mouton's second foul. Both teams now in the double bonus. And Rehana Maxwell Topia will get 2 free throws. Free throws have been a sticking point for Roosevelt lately. They've missed 3 in a row and are at just 50% for the game. St. Francis is 15 of 19 as Maxwell Topia makes his first. The Lakers have taken 22 free throws as a team. The Saints 19. And St. Francis is +4 in terms of points from the line. A big factor in this game. Now they're +5 from the line, and they trail by just 1 overall. 68-67 as we approach the final minute of play. Trenton Kyler in possession of the basketball for Roosevelt. It's been a quiet offensive game for Kyler. Setting things up here, he passes to the left. Myers up top to Ajiboye. Ajiboye puts it on the floor, goes to the rim. He is halted by Maxwell Topia, but on the second effort, he puts it in. Great hustle by Ayomide Ajiboye as he scores on the second chance, and Roosevelt calls timeout. 58.3 seconds remaining in the second half. It's been a wild one tonight. Wild swings back and forth. St. Francis has twice gone on runs of 12-0. Roosevelt has gone on some big runs of their own, including an 11-0 spurt that immediately followed the Saints' first 12-point run. We've seen long scoring droughts from both teams. The Saints, in this case, finally broke out of a long drought on the Maxwell Topia free throws. It's been over 4 minutes since their last field goal still. And they've shot well from the field, particularly from three-point range. They're 9 of 18 on three-pointers in the game. But they have at times had trouble getting them up. 16 turnovers in the game compared to just 8 for Roosevelt. And the Saints are going through one of those tough stretches right now. Credit to Ayomide Ajiboye, who extended the lead with the offensive rebound and the bucket just moments ago. Ajiboye struggled with fouls early. Did not score in the first 36 minutes of the game, but in the last 3, he's got 6 points. He's up to now 4 steals and 7 rebounds in the game. Joey Bajemi will be the inbounder against a Roosevelt press defense. Coming out of this timeout, St. Francis down by 3 with under a minute to play. Russell Tillery sets it up for the Fighting Saints as the defense backs off. Bounced over to right through his hands and out of bounds. 17th turnover of the game for the Saints, and that one was unforced. Timeout called by St. Francis, so they will set up a defense of their own here coming out of this timeout. Remember, Lewis Holy has already fouled out. Carter Fahey is playing with 4. There are 3 Roosevelt players with 4 fouls. Trenton Kyler, Ayomide Ajaboye, and Matt Myers. 3 very key players for this team. There is a long way to go here. Both teams are in the double bonus, but St. Francis is a much better free throw shooting team. Not just tonight, where they've hit 80% of their shots, and the Lakers have hit 50%, but on the season, Fighting Saints hit them at 77%. The Lakers just 63%. There are not a lot of good high percentage shooters out there for the Lakers. Really, it's only Trenton Kyler. So if the Saints are in a position, and they're not there yet, certainly with 48 seconds still to play, but if they do find themselves in a position where they have to foul, they just need to make sure they're not sending Kyler to the line, because everybody else has struggled today and throughout the year. With 48 seconds left, though, you know they'll try to force a turnover, but otherwise they're going to play straight up and look for the stop. A lot of good three-point shooters on this St. Francis team, so as long as they could keep it within 3, they're giving themselves a very good shot offensively. Carlos Tavares is in defensively for Darius Wright. Roosevelt comes out with Johnson as the inbounder. Kyler, Ajaboye, Riggins, and Myers are the other 4 on the floor. Maxwell Topia will apply the pressure on the inbounds pass. Johnson finds Kyler in the backcourt, and Trenton Kyler works past Russell Tillery and across half court. Now here's Matt Myers. Myers bounces it back out to Kyler, and Kyler will run a little clock here. So the game clock is down under 30 seconds now as Kyler works his way on the far side of the floor. Pull up at the free throw line. Kicked out to Quinn Riggins. Shot clock is at 5. Riggins loses the ball. It's loose on the floor and finally secured by Carter Fahey. 16 seconds to play. Saints don't necessarily need a 3 right here, but they've got plenty of shooters on the floor. Carter Fahey now with the clock down to 8. They may need that 3. And Ryan Marks calls timeout with 7.7 on the clock. As I said, they didn't need a 3, but if you're not going to get a three-pointer, in that case, you got to work quickly, and they really were not. They were kind of running the regular half-court offense, it seemed. Ryan Marks recognized that things were not moving with the urgency that they needed to and called timeout. Now it's 7.7. You still could get a 2-pointer and feel like you've got a shot in this thing, but I would expect them to draw something up for one of their shooters here as we run short on time. Joey Bajemi has been the best three-point shooter tonight. He's 4 of 5 from beyond the arc. Darius Wright just went to the scorer's table to check in as well. Darius Wright is 2 of 3 from three-point range today, and both of those guys have been outstanding all year. Wright at 39% coming in, Bajemi at 36%. I'm assuming that Wright, well, maybe I shouldn't make this assumption. Can't see who's in right now. I think he's in for Tillery, actually. It looks like Russell Tillery is going to come out because I was going to assume that he was checking in for Carlos Tavares because that's the way they've been playing at offense and defense. But Tavares is a guy you want on the floor right now, even though he's been a little cold from three-point range the last few weeks. Still an excellent shooter the last 3 years. So that's a guy you'd like to have on the floor right now. So it is Tobias, Wright, and Bajemi all on the floor. In three-point range, you'd want to get it to one of them. Maxwell Topia shoots at a high percentage as well. He doesn't take very many of them, though. So Rihanna Maxwell Topia will inbound with 7.7 on the clock, a 3-point game. Looking for Wright, couldn't find him. Now he throws it in across court for Bajemi. It's poked away out of bounds, and Bajemi touched it last. And Bajemi is making the case that he didn't touch it at all. That it was off of Justice Mouton, but the officials are giving the ball to Roosevelt. And a timeout is called by St. Francis. Tough break for the Fighting Saints. And it started with good defense from Roosevelt. Rihanna Maxwell-Topia couldn't find anybody to get that ball into. Ended up having to make a really tough pass across court. Justice Mouton jumped up and deflected it. And according to the official, it then hit off of Joey Bujemi's hands as well. And Bujemi reacted immediately. Not that you can tell necessarily what happened on a play based on a player's reaction, but he was so quick to jump up and protest that you really get the sense that ball did not touch his hand. It was just a misread from the official. I'm at a tough angle here. I'm not going to make any claims other than what I saw from the players' reactions. But it's a tough break for the Fighting Saints. And so now they will need to, if they can't get a steal on the inbounds play, they'll need to foul immediately. And as I was saying before, that doesn't mean the game is over because there are not a lot of good free throw shooters on this Roosevelt team. And the Saints just have to make sure that they do not allow the Lakers to get it into Trenton Kyler. Kyler's an 81% shooter. There's nobody else on the team who shoots it as high as 70%. So if anybody but Kyler gets the ball, it would have to be considered a victory for the Saints on the inbounds play, although they want to get the quick turnover. Anthony Martinez is in. He's just a 42% shooter. Quinn Riggins, 63%. Matt Myers is 66%. He's already missed some big ones this half. Mark Johnson is the inbounder. 7.4 on the clock. Johnson trying to get it to Kyler. Long pass, and he does find Kyler. And now nobody around to foul him, and finally they do wrap him up at 4.4. And that was the absolute worst-case scenario. They were able to get it into Kyler, and he ran 3 seconds off the clock before he was fouled, and now he just needs to make one to put this game away. And it's a game that was so close all the way through and eventually has been decided here in the end by 2 inbounds plays as Kyler does make the first free throw. The Saints tried a long inbounds pass. It was knocked out of bounds. Last touched by St. Francis. And the Lakers tried a long inbounds play, and Joey Bujemi missed it by a fraction of an inch. And somehow Johnson was able to thread the needle and get it to Kyler and essentially end the game. That was a very risky inbounds play, and they really showed they were going to do whatever they could to make sure that Kyler was the one who got that play. So now the Saints will try to score one last time before the buzzer. Bujemi's 3 is no good, and our final score is 72-67. Roosevelt comes away with the victory over St. Francis. A hard-fought win for the Lakers and a very tough loss for the Saints in a game that was so close for so long. Roosevelt looked early in the second half like they might be on the verge of pulling away. They built an 11-point lead. Saints responded. They fought back and took a late lead in the second half, but they ended up not scoring from the field over the final 5 minutes of the game. And as they missed their final handful of shots, Roosevelt was able to make just enough big plays down the stretch. Ayomide Ajiboye had maybe the biggest one. In a 1-point game late, he was able to come in after it seemed like the Saints had gotten a crucial stop with an offensive rebound and a putback that put the Lakers ahead by 3. And the Saints were not able to respond as they could not finish off with any points on their last handful of possessions. And then the real key sequence late in the game with 7.7 seconds on the clock, back-to-back inbounds plays. The Saints were unable to get it in. The Lakers tried a very risky pass and were just barely able to get it over the hands of the outstretched defenders, get it into their best free throw shooter, and let him salt the game away from the line. A final score today of 72-67 improves Roosevelt's record to 16-9. They're 11-7 in conference, and they snap a brief 2-game losing streak. St. Francis is unable to get a winning streak going after they won in overtime on Saturday. They fall today to 9-10 in conference play, now 13-11 overall for the season. Leading scorer for St. Francis was Joey Bujemi with 19 points. Lewis Holy paced the team with 11 rebounds. Roosevelt was led by Matt Myers. Myers finished with 18 points on 7 of 14 shooting. And Myers led the way with 3 players on each side finishing in double figures scoring-wise. So the Lakers pick up the big win. The Saints will not have a lot of time to stew on this one. They'll be back in action right here on Wednesday. They take on Holy Cross this Wednesday, and we will be here to cover that one for you. So make sure you tune in again Wednesday night if you can't make it out to the arena. As always, go to GoFightingSaints.com for any updates on St. Francis Athletics. Our final score again today, Roosevelt 72, St. Francis 67. We're back at it 2 nights from tonight, a men's and women's doubleheader starting at 5 o'clock on Wednesday, St. Francis against Holy Cross. Until then, this is Terry Bonadonna signing off from the University of St. Francis in Joliet, Illinois. Have a good night.